In my 6 years managing strategies for Fortune 500 companies, I observed a fundamental difference. Regular employees think in terms of paychecks and budgets. They think, how can I save more money? While business owners that I now work with think in terms of, how can I make my money work harder for me? The wealth gap isn't just about income. It's about how you think about money itself. The wealthy, for example, they don't run away from debt. They learn how to weaponize it. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about understanding how to use money as a lever for growth. So today, I'm sharing sophisticated family office techniques that you can adopt for your individual wealth building. Hi, I'm Piyusha. I left corporate not to chase hustle, but to build wealth differently. I now help run my family business in finance and real estate, applying the same strategic thinking I once used for the Fortune 500 companies. So building the business, I've now realized that wealth creation follows certain predictable principles, not market timings or get-rich-quick schemes. Traditional thinking says that avoid debt at all costs, but wealth creators says that use debt strategically. Most employees ask, how can I save more? But business owners ask, how can I get the lowest cost of capital and put it to work for better returns? I'll be honest, I used to think exactly like most employees. In my consulting job, I helped restructure a 500 crore P&L for a company, but I was afraid to borrow 50 lakhs for a house. Coming from a traditional Indian family, debt felt dangerous. But now that I've stepped into business, I now understand that not using risk is actually the biggest risk of all. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your salary might grow at 6 to 8% every year, but inflation eats 6 to 7% of that. So without smart capital deployment strategies, you're not building wealth, you're barely surviving. Take the average employee, for instance, who has 40% of his wealth locked up in an FD. Using leverage strategies, you could make the same money work 3 to 5% harder. For 5,000 years, debt has been the tool for wealth creation. Empires, banks, billionaires have all used this. And now with access to information, you can use it too. This isn't just theory. These are the same methodologies I'm using to create my own wealth. Did you know that you can earn higher than 6% on your FD? Let's break down the technique of FD leverage. Put 5 lakhs in an FD earning 6%. Get an overdraft from the bank on your same FD at 6.25%. So your actual borrowing cost is actually just 0.25%. Invest that same money in an equity-linked mutual fund that earns 12 to 15%. And there you have a neat return of 14.5%. My family friend, a senior doctor, had put in 20 lakhs in an FD earning 6%. Zero time for markets and zero appetite for risk. So I walked her through a structure of getting the overdraft facility on her FD at 7% interest and deployed the same funds in a conservative hybrid fund that yields 11%. So that 4% extra yield resulted in an 80,000 extra income per year without any risk. On money she wasn't even touching. This is the kind of quiet arbitrage that the top 1% do effortlessly. This isn't magic, it's strategic capital deployment. Banks do this at scale, so you can too. The principle is simple but powerful. The second strategy is about property leverage. So you acquire a 50 lakh home in a tier 2 city, pay 20% down payment, and get a home loan interest at 8.5% on the remaining 40 lakhs. So your monthly EMI comes around 34,500, and assuming a realistic rental yield of 6%, that rental monthly income would be around 25,000. So yes, there is a negative gap of 9,500, but you should factor in Section 24B, where you can factor in interest deduction under Section 24B, which allows 2 lakhs annually, depreciation benefits of around 60,000. So your actual monthly outflow will only be 2 to 3,000 per month. So you're earning and building a 50 lakh worth of equity with minimal monthly outflow. And add to this the appreciation of your property around 5% per year. So you're gaining a 2.5 lakh net worth yearly. So this is property leverage. The key insight here is that you're not looking for immediate positive cash flow. You're building long-term wealth while letting the market and the time work in your favor. Critical message here is that you should have an emergency fund set up, stable income to cover that monthly gap, and choosing the right location. Not every property works, so do your rental yield research first. The third strategy is called portfolio leverage. It basically uses your existing portfolio to get a loan called loan against security. This is sophisticated risk management. You pledge your existing stocks as a collateral to get a loan. The loan interest would be around 10 to 12%, which is much lower than your personal loans. Use that amount to expand your business or put it in high return yielding assets. You earn a net income of 10 to 12% over your borrowed money. So it's compounding over your borrowed money while your continued existing assets, which is the portfolio you have. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he didn't sell Tesla's shares, he pledged them. That's the same concept on a different scale. Sophisticated players don't liquidate, they leverage. But I only recommend this with strong risk buffers in place. In a world when everyone is chasing returns, here are 3 must-have principles for risk management techniques. Every high-yield approach needs discipline. I use 3 clear filters before putting any capital. First, downside protection. Never leverage more than 60% of your assets. Always maintain liquidity buffers. Second, cost of capital analysis. Understand the all-in cost of using debt, including the processing fees, insurance costs, or opportunity cost. And third, exit strategy. Always have a clear exit plan and reinvestment pathway for the capital you allocate. Wealth isn't shooting for the moon. It is about consistent, compounded execution. These methods require a strong credit profile and a stable income, 6 months emergency fund, professional legal and tax advice, and a deep understanding of market cycles. Never leverage beyond your capacity and always maintain liquidity buffers. This isn't about speculation, this is about calculated risk-taking abilities. The role shift for wealth creation, it's not tactical, it's mental. Employees fear debt, business owners wield it. Employees learn to save for comfort, business owners use it to invest for scale. Employees think in months, business owners think in decades. If you're ready to reframe debt as an opportunity, make calm, compoundable money moves, and build systems, not just income streams, then this is your decade. The tools are real, the frameworks are all there. So question is, are you ready to play the game differently? Ready to implement these strategies? Comment strategies below. I'll send you the exact step-by-step framework that I use in our business. If this resonated, hit subscribe. I'll break down real-world wealth creation, not fluff, not theory, just calm capital moves that compound.